Good afternoon, Dan Cooper. Another edition of Cooper's Cogitations. I'd like to talk about county commissioners at this time. And I have to introduce Descartes, who introduced the philosophy of neutralism. And it's a bland philosophy applied to politicians. Politicians say, we represent people. And people say, you're supposed to represent us. And a candidate even ran, I represent the people. Well, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Our county commissioners do not represent me. The one on the city council, well, I didn't vote for him when he was on the city council. He was a socialist. The one that's worked for the congressman, the New World Order, Rhino, and a Republican in name only, Rhino, for years, I didn't vote for that man either. And I didn't vote for the last guy. So they don't represent me. So people who say, you represent us, no, you're wrong. They don't represent you. They represent the people who elected them. Who elected them? Well, the oligarchy did. And if there's any question, there's always the machines. Election fraud is deeply entrenched in America and Utah. Have you ever seen Gangs of New York? You ought to. Hand count election fraud. We had a governor who was chosen by the DC to go back east and do a position. The female lieutenant governor brought in the machines. 13 geeks, computer geeks from up north, went to her and says, let us evaluate the machines. There can be so many things wrong. She said, no. We haven't had an honest election since. What about hand count? Well, personal experience. I was living up north. Two of my friends were working a constitutionalist candidates table at the Salt Lake Convention Center for the Salt Lake Convention, Caucus Convention. And two cops came in to the convention center, picked up all their literature, took up their table, and arrested them. They were never charged, but the candidate challenging the New World Order Rhino senator, of course, lost. I had 4 friends of the 6 counters who were counting boxes going into the count room. They counted 40, all 6 of them counted 40. They went in, there's 41 boxes. One box was in the middle of the room. Young men in white shirts and ties were coming out of the back room with handfuls of ballots, stuffing the box. I could tell you about caucus fraud here in Washington County. I'm not going to. The point is, they represent the people who elected them. The oligarchy elects them. The oligarchy keeps them there as long as they hobnob and lick the boots of the oligarchy, they'll stay in. When the oligarchy tells them to leave, they'll leave. It's just that simple. Okay, now let's look at the next thing. The next thing, of course, is a man. Oh, let me tell you what happened up in Salt Lake. I didn't tell you this. My friends in Salt Lake went to the government, the cops, and said, hey, election fraud. The cops said it's a party matter. They went to the party and the party laughed. Okay? Now, what do we know about elections? Well, it's not the people who vote that count. It's the people who count the votes that count. Voters decide nothing. Vote counters decide everything. Political power does not rest with those who cast vote. Political power rests with those who count votes. It doesn't matter who they vote for. They always vote for us. Joseph Stalin. Now, the 3:30 meeting for people who wish to express themselves at the county The county's not obtuse. The oligarchy's not obtuse. They saw what happened in St. George City. In St. George City, hundreds of people showed up. Hundreds of people showed up to protest, to applaud, and cheered. These guys are not obtuse. So what they did is they make it at 3:30 so no one can come. Very few people can come. They don't have hundreds show up. Maybe they have 20. If they can control things, they can say, it's the law, as they lick the boots of the bureaucrats who create the codes. It's a wonderful thing, folks. It's a wonderful thing. Now, pushing the ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns. Why should we let them have ideas? Joseph Stalin. Now, the U.S. Constitution says nothing about arts, sports, recreation, and our county commission, socialists that they are, provides $500,000 to Tuacahn. I like Tuacahn. I've been there many times. However, it's not a government function to provide me arts, parks, and recreation. Okay? Golf courses, pickleball courts. It's not their job. But in the Communist Youth and Student Bill of Rights, Plank 7, it says government is supposed to give us arts, parks, recreation, golf courses, pickleball courts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These people are never deviate from the communist agenda. While we were there this couple of days ago, they brought up a money for the hungry and the homeless. I spoke. I said, look, I give considerable money every month to nonprofit organizations, churches that help the poor, the hungry, the homeless. I myself have been in 3 soup kitchens. Okay, I believe in helping people. In America, before we became a socialist communist country, the churches, individuals, philanthropists would do that. Organizations would do that. They still do, but now the government is involved. And with the government involvement, you see a proliferation. You see it's my right. And you see selfish people. And it wrecks their character. It wrecks them. Because they could work, but they don't. Their character is destroyed. Now, if that's what you want to do, then folks, I think that's a great thing to do. As I told them, when you put the government gun to my head to take my money for them, you're a thief. You're a thief. Let's see what else is happening. When Israel came out of Egypt, first thing they did was create a representative government. This is found in Exodus 18, confirmed in Deuteronomy 1. Joshua and Judges, also the books, confirm this. They had a representative government. They came to Samuel, 1 Samuel 8. He said, Samuel, we don't want a representative government. We want a king. Tell us what to do, where to go, how to build our houses, homes, schools, welfare, arts, parks, recreation. We want a king. Samuel tells God, God tells Samuel, Samuel, they haven't rejected you. They have rejected me. And friends, that's what people are doing, rejecting God and his inspired constitution. Thank you. We'll finish this. Yeah, we did.